Sri Lanka recorded test win against New Zealand after 7 long years. We will bring you a comprehensive report on Sri Lanka's record-breaking win later in our news bulletin.
Anuraag Kumara to contest the presidential election. President joins Sajith in Polonnaruwa to declare open several housing projects.
දූෂණයෙන් තොර අවංක හොඳ ඇමතිවරයෙක් සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස කියලා කියන්නේ.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa engages in religious observances today as well. Acting IGP calls for a report from CID on 6 cases, including the murder of Lasantha Wickrematunge.
First up in local news, leader of the JVP Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake was named as the candidate of the National People's Power headed by the JVP. The candidate was named at an event held at the Golface Green.
The event, named Peraliye Maharaliya, was held under the theme Let's Rise and Unite. Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake was named as the candidate of the alliance headed by the JVP that includes about 30 other organizations.
ජාතික ජනබලවේගයේ ජනපති අපේක්ෂකයා ලෙස විජයග්‍රාහී දේශපාලන මිනිසා අනුර දිසානායක නාමය උණුසුම් සහෝදරත්වයෙන් ප්‍රකාශ කර සිටින වගයි.
The JVP is fielding a presidential candidate of their own after a lapse of 20 years. In 1999, Nandana Gunatilaka of the JVP contested the presidential polls and was placed third in the election. The JVP pledged their support to Mahinda Rajapaksa in 2005, to the common candidate Sarath Fonseca in 2010, and in the year 2015 did not field a presidential candidate but carried out a campaign against corruption. Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake will begin his campaign today as the first JVP candidate to contest a presidential election in 20 years. I would like to state before you that I will not betray this confidence that you have placed in me. This is a fight that should end in victory. The political power of this country has fallen into the grasp of corruption, bribery and fraud. This must be changed. We would like to assure the people of this country that we will create an honest political system in this country. That should first be changed in this country. Secondly, the economy of this country. The country's economy has already suffered every possible damage. We promise you that we will create a new economic policy that gives priority to human resources and allows the benefit of it to flow down to the general public. We will fight to create a better life for the working class of this country while working towards bringing the benefits of a better economy to your doorstep.
This is a look back into the life of the presidential candidate of the JVP, Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake.
Born on the 24th of November 1968, Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake is a graduate from the University of Kelaniya. He joined the JVP in 1987. Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake entered the stage as a career politician in 1988, and in 1995 he held the position of national organizer of the Socialist Students Association. Anuraag Kumara was appointed to the Central Working Committee of the JVP the same year. He entered the Politburo of the JVP in 1998. After entering Parliament in the year 2000, he held the position of Minister of Agriculture, Irrigation and Land in the government that was formed in 2004. He held the position of leader of the JVP parliamentary group in the year 2008 and was an active member of the opposition. Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake assumed leadership of the JVP in 2014, taking over from his predecessor Somavansa Amarasinghe. Anuraag Kumara Dissanayake also held the position of Chief Opposition Organizer in the 8th Parliament in the year 2015. Marking a turn in his political career today, he enters the race with hopes of being elected as the first citizen of the country.
Meanwhile, 3 villages constructed under the Samata Savana Yalipibidena Uda Gammana program was vested with the public today.
President Maithripala Sirisena was the chief guest at the event. Upon the invitation extended by Deputy Leader of the United National Party, Minister Sajith Premadasa, the Kotaragala Gama that was constructed in Sorivilla and the Jivahatta Gama and Disala Gama villages constructed in Dalukane were declared open today. A total of 66 houses were constructed in the villages at a cost of 69.1 million rupees. I have been a part of many governments in this country. I know who are honest politicians and who are not. Against such a backdrop, Sajith Premadasa is the ideal person who is suitable for the needs and wants of the common man, who knows the sorrows of the common man, who lives with both feet on the ground. He is free from corruption. When everything was ready to impose the capitalist punishment, leaders of the government and leaders from the opposition took to the streets against the capital punishment. Whoever contests the presidential election, they must make a pledge before the people to take steps to eradicate the drug menace in this country. Not only that, the presidential candidate should also make a pledge to impose the capital punishment on drug traffickers. There is no room for neoliberalism amidst the majority of the village community. With this neoliberalism, the only way to govern the country is through demand and supply. State affiliation is prohibited. The government cannot poke their fingers. Everything should be under the forces of the market. What would happen to the hundreds and thousands of the farming community in this country if neoliberalism comes into effect in this country? What would happen to the innocent laborer? I promise you that in the near future, I will throw away this neoliberalism and form a mixed economy, bring entrepreneurship to the spotlight and create a just economy that will cater to all the people equally. Meanwhile, the foundation stone of the Siripura Sri Isipatanarama Viharasthana in Ratmalkandia Polonnaruwa was laid by President Maithripala Sirisena and Deputy Leader of the United National Party Sajith Premadasa. We embrace Sajith Premadasa as the most talented minister in the cabinet. Minister today and tomorrow, can that be prevented? Some people are pretending not to hear the massive voice of the people. Some people in Colombo 7 act as if they do not hear or see this. If Colombo 7 cannot hear the same voice that has awakened the village, we are ready to take the village to Colombo 7. I would like to say to the people who do not allow democracy to prevail in this country that we will win this battle by any means. Our only hope is for a leader who can lead this country to a better place in 2020.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Perumuna Gotabaya Rajapaksa attended a number of religious ceremonies today.
Gotabaya Rajapaksa engaged in religious observances at the Rukmalgama Sri Dharma Vijayaloka Viharaya this morning. Gotabaya Rajapaksa then obtained blessings from the Mahasangha. This is a time when many politicians are stuck in a pit of mud and are slinging mud at others and putting the future of the people at risk. We must try to come out of this pit that we are in. Gotabaya Rajapaksa then obtained blessings from the Mahanayaka of the Amarapura sect, Most Venerable Kotugada Dhammavasa Thera at the Dharmapala Viharasthana in Mount Lavinia.
A new building constructed at the Bandaragama Regional Hospital was declared open today.
The event was held under the auspices of Minister of Health, Dr. Ajitha Senaratne. Non-Cabinet Minister Ajit P. Pereira and Parliamentarian Kumara Velgama attended this event. I spent money for the construction of this building. Now, when I come for this event and sit together with Minister Ajitha Senaratne, they will start saying that I am preparing to join the UNP. I would like to say that I am a loyal SLFPer and I do not switch parties like that. I would specifically like to tell the media that I will die as an SLFPer. Our choice of candidate for this election is wrong. I pray that the next leader of this country is a good democratic person who doesn't have a bad temper. I hope that we do not elect a leader who, when criticized, can't handle the criticism and takes it out on the general public of this country and especially the media of this country.
SB Dissanayake called a press conference in Kandy today covering the ongoing discussions between the SLFP and Podujana Peramuna. The two presidents said that the discussions between them were successful, but I don't know what they discussed. They nominated Gotabaya Rajapaksa after this, and both parties have accepted him as their presidential candidate. The Podujana Peramuna is our leftist movement, and I believe it is the national duty of the SLFP to accept him as our common candidate. President Maithripala Sirisena is someone who is well versed in politics. There are some here, not Belgaum, but others who are attempting to cross over, some from the SLFP to the UNP. This will never work. An organization named Viyat Janajanata Paura was established in Hanguranketa yesterday.
The launch of the organization was attended by the regional and provincial councillors of the Podujana Peramuna, intellectuals and professionals. Not a single upcoming politician was allowed to raise their head in Hanguranketa. It was to bring SB Dissanayake and Sri Lanka Freedom Party to power that we conducted a program that left the best for Colombo and the remainder to us. This is what we sacrificed our lives for. But since then, if there ever was a smart and intelligent politician, they were only kept to put up posters. They did not even give him a future. This electorate is suffering. Even if Mahinda Rajapaksa comes to power or anyone else comes to power, we only got the program that came according to the national policy. We must protect Hanguranketa until the children of these politicians grow up. When they grow up, we must hand all of these over to them and step back. This is the true situation. As councillors, we have always worked with the SLPP, but we formed this organization to rid this area of this kind of parachute politics. We are fed up of this political system where politicians switch parties constantly.
Still continuing in local news, acting IGP C.D. Wickramaratne has ordered the CID to provide him with reports regarding 6 major incidents, including the assassination of senior journalist Lasantha Wickramatunge. This is in response to a letter sent by the Attorney General on the 15th of this month regarding 5 major investigations being carried out by the CID.
The Attorney General had inquired regarding the following incidents: the assassination of Lasantha Wickramatunge, the death of Wasim Tajuddin, the abduction of Keith Noya, killing of 17 relief workers in Mutur, and the abduction and forced disappearance of 11 youth. The Attorney General instructed the IGP to conclude the investigations into the 5 incidents without delay and submit the investigation files to the Attorney General's department.
The Inspector General of Police has requested for a report on these 5 cases and the abduction and the disappearance of journalist Ekna Ligoda from the Senior Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of the Criminal Investigations Department. The CID has informed to compile reports on all of these 11 matters separately in all of these 6 cases and hand it over on or before the 23rd of August. A program to construct and hand over the public 1,000 projects in the Mahathagama Kurunagala commenced today under the auspices of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Under the program, a new 3-storied building at the Mahathagama National School was declared open today by the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister also declared open the new Divisional Secretariat of Mahathagama. Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe also attended a meeting at the Samodaya Mahathagama grounds. Think about this. 400 million was dispersed to every electorate under the Gamperale program. Under his leadership, the Samurdhi, which was 14,000 million, was increased to 45,000 million. When has the government ever treated the poor this well? Treated the state sector employees this well? Created this much of development and constructed this many roads? Where did we get the money for all of this? This government is not bankrupt. You must remember well that it was this leader that fought with the world to get this much of money for all these projects. Remember that.
පළවෙනි වතාවට
I was handed over this government without a majority in parliament in August 2015. I was asked if I can take this government forward because the previous government in parliament had a two-third majority. I thought that I will not leave the government halfway if I am given this power and this mandate. I made a decision to carry this government until the presidential election. Through this government, we have done many things that the previous governments with a two-thirds majority could not do. I would like to state that we brought the economy of this country to a stable state. We were also able to pay back our debt. I would like to state that even if you were an employee in the private sector or the public sector or a farmer, an entrepreneur, a fisherman, your income was increased between 50% to 100%.
වැඩි වෙලා තියෙනවා කියලා මං කියන්න
One of the statements made by the Prime Minister today cannot be contested. That is the fact that he took over a government with no majority in Parliament. Ranil Wickremesinghe was appointed as a Prime Minister when he did not command the confidence of a majority in Parliament after President Maithripala Sirisena won the presidential election in 2015. However, the people of this country are privy to the fact that the statement made by Ranil Wickremesinghe regarding the general public of this country is far from the truth. Immediately after taking office, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe appointed his close accomplice Arjuna Mahendran to the position of Governor of the Central Bank and set the stage for the central bank bond scam, the proceeds of which would go on to benefit more members of his inner circle. He now boasts of development after allowing his associates to rob the hard-earned money of the people in the Employees Provident Fund and cause an immediate loss of 700 million rupees to the EPF. The Prime Minister, who claims he fixed the economy, continued to line the pockets of his associates by setting the stage for the central bank to be looted for the second year in a row in 2016. While the total loss of the second bond scam has not been calculated as yet, the immediate loss to the EPF, which holds the money of hard-working Sri Lankans, was 8,500 million rupees. Will the general public believe the Prime Minister's statement that he increased the income of the people when the money of the general public was blatantly robbed in broad daylight? It is a known fact that the Prime Minister, who says he paid off all the country's debt, had done so with more loans from overseas. The debt burden of the country had increased by 4,164 billion rupees during the 4-year tenure of this government. The man who awarded unsound investment projects to his close friends and damaged the investor confidence is now saying that he increased the income of all Sri Lankans. The Volkswagen company, the Hambantota oil refinery, the Horana tyre factory, and the Central Expressway are few of these tainted projects that the people still remember. What will the Prime Minister's response be when he is questioned on what the job opportunities created by these projects were, or how much foreign revenue these projects brought into the country? How can the Prime Minister, who sold the Hambantota port, a national asset of the country, after branding it as a white elephant, be hailed as the savior of Sri Lanka's economy? A presidential commission is investigating into the damages caused due to the storage of paddy at the Mattala airport. Should the general public of the country believe the Prime Minister, who appointed his close associates to head the national airlines and left it in ruins, and now is looking for buyers to sell it off? According to the people, these are not statements that could be made by a person in his proper senses.
The Gajasavia Socialist Front convened a media briefing today. When the candidate of one of the two main parties in the country has been named and the candidate of the JVP has been announced, we would like to express our strong objection against the depreciation of our party to such an extent where we cannot even name a presidential candidate. Also, people like Minister Rajitha Senaratne, who came from outside of the party and are trying to stop the rise of the Deputy Leader Sajith Premadasa, cannot be allowed to suppress the hopes and aspirations of UNPers.
බලාපොරොත්තුව නැති කරන්නට මේ අවස්ථාව දෙන්න බෑ.
අනිත් එක්කෙනා කරු ජයසූරිය මහත්තයා කතානායකතුමා
The other person is Karu Jayasuriya. The speaker took 17 of our members and destroyed our party. He also was behind our MP Paba in the polls. Why is a person like that being put forward to contest? When everyone is asking for Sajith Premadasa, who is the most popular candidate now, we beg the leader of our party to do the right thing to protect the party.
Minister Ravi Kaunanayaka is a person who caused much damage to the image of the party due to his involvement in the bond scam and the Satosa issue. Ravi Kaunanayaka in Colombo is shouting against giving the party leadership to Sajith Premadasa for no reason. These are people who can't even set foot in Hambantota. Sajith Premadasa is the leader that the entire country asks for. People in the villages as well as in cities demand for the leadership of Sajith Premadasa. Welcome back. Now continuing in more local news here. The Sunday Times reported today that the United States has told Sri Lanka that it will suspend talks on the controversial status of forces agreement, also known as SOFA, with Sri Lanka until the presidential election is over.
US Ambassador Elena B. Teplitz outlined her country's position during a meeting with President Maithripala Sirisena. Ambassador Teplitz also told President Sirisena that the time frame for MCC Sri Lanka Compact for US $480 million had now ended. The UNF government, together with the MCC, identified transport and land issues. The government arrived at a final package of country-led, country-owned activities for potential MCC funding in these two fields. Teplitz told President Sirisena, quote, "We respect Sri Lanka's right to discuss the matter on a later occasion," unquote. Following the controversy generated by the SOFA agreement, the President weeks earlier said that such an agreement should not be signed without his approval. He also made clear that he was the Minister of Defence and SOFA was a subject that came under his purview.
In the immediate aftermath of the April 21st attack, conversation regarding SOFA intensified. Due to the huge public outcry over such an agreement, very little progress was made. Today we see a step back taken by the US when it comes to the SOFA agreement. The public will remain alert to this situation and its development.
Finance Minister Mangala Samaravira, who sees the silver lining in the dark cloud, told us that he will give us some good news tomorrow. What is he saying in the end? He said that for the first time in the history of the United States of America, we'll be giving Sri Lanka a sum of $480 million. Although Mangala's small brain cannot understand this, this is even more dangerous than the suicide bomb of Zaran. Among the beggars in this world, America is one of the biggest beggars. As at the 31st of July, the debt of America stood at $23 trillion. So if you write down 23 and add 12 zeros behind it, you can understand how much the US owes other countries. A beggar who has so much of debt, a beggar who takes loans from Japan and China, takes a loan and gives it to us as a gift, and we must look into what this is all about.
ඇමරිකානු හිඟන්නා ඩොලර් මිලියන 480ක් ණයට අරන් අපිට තෑග්ගට දීලා ලක්මව සිප ගන්න අතරේ බලපං ඇඳයට කියලායි කිව්වේ. ඒ නිසා ඇඳයට බැලුවම අපි හොයාගත්තා මොකද හොරේ කියලා.
This $400 million will be given only to look into the plot of land and to create the economic corridor. This is not aid given to Sri Lanka. This money is not given for important matters like reducing or repaying the debt, to stop the depreciation of the dollar, to build waivers and anicuts, to provide electricity or to build airports and harbors. This is an investment made by the US. This money is given so that US can freely engage in their affairs. It is clear that this money was given considering Sri Lanka as a colony of the US.
South Asia's tallest Ganadevi statue, which was built in the Kavantisa Dhammavichaya, had a special Ganadevi offering yesterday. Presidential candidate of the Janasatha Peramuna Venerable Battaramulle Sila Ratanathero attended the event.
The 32-feet Ganadevi statue was declared open previously under the patronage of presidential candidate of the Janasatha Peramuna Venerable Battaramulle Sila Ratanathero. The special Ganadevi offering was held yesterday with the aim of bestowing blessings upon the general public of the country to elect a suitable leader at the upcoming presidential election.
Eranda Veliyange has been appointed as the UNP organizer of Homagama. Eranda Veliyange received his letter of appointment yesterday by the party leader Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe. Prior to this appointment, Veliyange also served as the chairman of the National Youth Services Council. Now in sports news, Sri Lanka recorded their first test win in 7 years against New Zealand after a 6-wicket win in the first test played in Galle today.
Coaching staff is confidence over technicality, and what is more important to me is if a coach has motivated a player. If we are getting a coach in the near future, I expect that motivation from him. I'm extremely happy about the stability of our team. The level of confidence rises each time we win.
That's all the news for tonight. Do take care and good night.